Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be continuing my top 50 favourite films. This is the penultimate video, so the next video will be the last. This is 31 to 40. The first two I haven't upgraded yet because again, like most of my DVDs, I don't know whether to upgrade it to Blu-ray or to 4K with either of them, because there are 4K releases out there, but I'm not too sure on the transfer. The rest I do own on Blu-ray though, so I can show you them as well. So yeah, let's get into it. I will say there are probably the only solid films that wouldn't move are my top 10, but everything above that, because this list still took me a while to make, but I've seen so many brilliant films. Some of them I don't even own, and it's just so difficult to make a top 50 list because there's so many films, and I've seen, as I said, so many films. So some of these films, whilst at the moment they're in my top 50, they may not actually in reality be top 50, but they are still at the moment, because I couldn't think of any others in my top 50, but they are still 5-star, 4.5-star films, um, because they're that good. But they could be higher up on the list, as in further up, maybe in the hundreds or something. If I were to really take a very long time to do, which I may next year do another one where I go even more in depth and make a solid list as possible. But for now, I just really want to get my thoughts out on all of these films because I do, as I say, think they are all great films. So first up is probably the best comic book film. No, I think it's the best X-Men film. One of the best comic book films, and that is Logan. Obviously, Hugh Jackman's final performance as Logan Wolverine. Uh, as I said, I've not upgraded this yet. I did get this when it came out on DVD because I had not at that point started collecting Blu-rays. So as I said, I'm not too sure whether to upgrade it to Blu-ray or to 4K, which is why I haven't upgraded it yet. Because once I get it, if I got it on Blu-ray and then I decided I want 4K, I don't really want to be wasting the money. So, but that's a fantastic film. I think it's probably one of, if not Hugh Jackman's best performance. Um, I think the relationship between him and, is it X-23? It's the girl. I think it's X-23. Could be wrong. Played by Daphne Keane, is really good. And I think Patrick Stewart, it was a nice send-off for his character as well in the X-Men franchise. And yeah, I think them going for a more graphic take on it made it better. I don't think it would have been as good if it wasn't as graphic, but I think it was just a really nice send off to the character of Wolverine in this X-Men universe we've had. And I really do enjoy it. Next up is the other DVD that I have in this section, and that is The Greatest Showman, which again I haven't decided whether I want to upgrade it yet to Blu-ray or to 4K. This is one of my favourite musicals. I think I've listened to the soundtrack 200 plus times now on repeat. I've seen the film probably about 20 times since it came out. I just think it's really good. I know it was quite critically panned, but obviously it had quite a following after its release, mainly for the music. And yeah, I just think it's really good. I think Hugh Jackman's really good in it. There may be some holes in the story, but if you watch this, you're not really watching it for that. You're watching it for the songs, because that's what most people go into this watching it for. But it's still, I really like it. I think it's really good, really well done, and yeah, that is. I think that's number 30. Hang on, that's number 32 on my list. Number 33 is a Baz Luhrmann film I recently watched for the first time, having watched Moulin Rouge for the first time last year, and that being in my top 10. I did own this. I was actually going to get rid of this because I wasn't too interested, but then after watching Moulin Rouge and thinking, oh, I do own this, and it is Baz Luhrmann, but I was going to get rid of it because I'd heard it was quite boring, and that is Australia, which definitely I would recommend watching. It's long, it's almost 3 hours long, But I don't think it has any pacing issues, not for me personally. I like the relationship between all of the characters. I think the story is really good, really powerful, and I think it's quite underrated. I think I would use the word underrated. As I said, the performances are great again. Hugh Jackman, third, I just realised, third Hugh Jackman film in a row. Um, there's a lot of Hugh, I don't know if there's any more Hugh Jackman films. That is just coincidental. Um, but yeah, fantastic film that I would definitely recommend watching because it is just a really good film, I think. Next up is the only import that I own in my collection, which is probably my biggest guilty pleasure, and that is Mannequin from 1987. Uh, Kim Cattrall and Andrew McCarthy. Uh, I just think this is really good. It is really cheesy, but the soundtrack's great, and I just really like it. G.W. Bailey, who was also in Police Academy with Kim Cattrall a few years before this, he's really good in it. With his sidekick, I can't remember the dog's name, but he's not a very good guard dog. And then he gets another dog that's also not a very good guard dog. But it's really funny. I'm not going to bother checking out the sequel because I've heard that's awful, and I have no interest in watching it anyway because this is just such a good film to me. So yeah, I would recommend watching this if you haven't seen it, because it is a good film. As I say, there's no UK Blu-ray release, but you can get the DVD cheap, or you can import it fairly cheap as well. Next up is my favourite film from 2019, and that is Greta Gerwig's Little Woman. Um, when this came out in the cinemas, I didn't really have any interest in seeing it at the cinemas because I didn't think it would be my type of film because I'm not really into period pieces. So I held off on watching it at the cinema. It'd been out on physical for a few months, and I thought I should pick it up because I got it for about £4, which I thought was a good enough price to get it and see if I like it or not. And I just think this is a really good film. It's just a really, I don't know if there's a word that you can describe it. Heartwarming, I guess you could say, to describe it. It's just really nice. The characters are really good. I haven't read the book, so I didn't really know much about them. Um, and the acting in this is really good. I don't think it won any awards. It was definitely nominated for a few Oscars, but I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe I know it definitely was nominated, but I don't know if it won any. But it's still a fantastic film, and I would definitely recommend watching it if you haven't. If you were a bit like me and were a bit skeptical as to whether you would like it or not, I would say give it a go. It's not too long either, and it is well, it is an hour, 2 hours and 15 minutes, but it doesn't feel like that. It's not too long. Not That's the average for films nowadays anyway. But yeah, really good film, Little Woman. Would definitely recommend checking that out. And that was number 34. Number 35 on... No, wait. That wasn't number 34. Mannequin was number 34. And Little Woman was number 35. Number 36 is another film I rewatched recently. I believe I did watch this when it first came out, but I couldn't remember anything at all about it. And that's Birdman with this nice HMV exclusive slip. Michael Keaton in what I would say is his best performance. This was really his comeback to acting because he went on a bit of a break, didn't really do much for quite a long time, and he came back with this, and I just think this is absolutely a fantastic film. Everything about it is perfect, whether it's the acting, the cinematography, the editing, the music, the story, everything about this is just great, and I just really love it. So, same artwork, the alternate artwork. I do really like this artwork. I did get this in Job Lot, but I wasn't expecting it to be this artwork, so I'm glad it is because it's really nice artwork. Yeah, excuse me. Birdman. It's about an actor, and in the 90s he played a superhero Birdman, and he's come back and he's written like a play for Broadway, and it's about him in this play and his struggles with trying to put the past behind him, specifically his character of Birdman, and trying to put everything behind him and make something new of himself. And it's just a really well done film, and I think it's great. So, for some reason I've got a blocked nose, so if I sound a bit nasally, I do apologise. Next up is my favourite adventure film, and that is Back to the Future. There are two adventure films in a row here that I consider pretty great. But Back to the Future is just fantastic, whether it's the characters of Marty McFly or Emmett Brown, Doc Brown. It's just perfect. Because you can look back, you watch the film, you look back at things that won't realise until you've seen it. Like I believe I don't know if it's this one or the second one where with the mall where the name changes. I can't remember what the name changes to, but when you watch it once and then you watch it again, you'll realise. But this has just been re-released onto 4K, which I may pick up eventually. But I'm happy with this set at the minute with the trilogy, because you do get quite a lot of special features. You get Doc Brown Saves the World, Out of Time Restoring the DeLorean, Looking Back to the Future. You get 2 episodes from Back to the Future, the animated series, 2015 commercials, and you get loads more special features as well. So yeah, but Back to the Future is just one of the best films ever made, and a classic, and yeah, had to be on my list. Also Robert Zemeckis, who you could probably see a common theme in this top 50. One of my favourite, he is my favourite directors. Now 38 is another great adventure film, and it is an Indiana Jones film. Some people would go for The Last Crusade. I've seen some people go for the Temple of Doom, which personally for me is my least favourite because I think it just goes too dark. But for me, the best is the original, Raiders of the Lost Ark, which introduced us to the character of Henry Jones Jr., Indiana Jones. And yeah, I just think it's a great story. I love everything, especially the opening scene with the I don't know what it is, a monkey thing, isn't it? I think that's great. And yeah, I just think it's a really well done adventure film, and I definitely prefer Indiana Jones over Han Solo. I think it's better. To be honest, I'm not as big a fan as the Star Wars films I would like to be. I've not seen them all, which is something I definitely need to get onto, whereas I have seen all of these, and I like these a lot, all of them, except for the second one. Um, so yeah, I will get onto the Star Wars films. I've liked the ones that I've seen, but I can't say that I'm a massive fan because I haven't seen them all, and I don't want to judge anything until I've seen them all. But yeah, anyway, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, fantastic. Then at number 39 is my favourite disaster film of all time, and that is Armageddon with Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, and Liv Tyler, among others. Obviously, it's about a meteor asteroid that's coming hurtling towards Earth, and they've got to get a bunch of miners or drillers or whatever you call them to go and basically blow up this asteroid, split it in two so it misses the Earth and doesn't cause Armageddon. And I just think it's really well done. I like the fact that we're not, unlike Deep Impact, for most of the film, like an hour and a half of the film, we're actually in with these characters as they go on their mission, whereas Deep Impact more follows the people on Earth. But I like this more because of what it does. I think it's a great ending. I think the characters are great, and yeah, I definitely recommend watching Armageddon if you haven't seen it, because it is a great film. And finally, at number 40 on my list is a film from one of my favourite screenwriters. He did my favourite television series, The Newsroom. That is Mr. Aaron Sorkin. He also wrote this film. It's directed by Rob Reiner, and that is The American President, starring Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, Martin Sheen, Michael J. Fox, David Paymer, Anna Devere Smith, and Richard Dreyfuss. It's just a fantastic film, I think. I think, as I say, the writing, I think Aaron Sorkin's probably the greatest screenwriter of the modern day. I think what he did with this was fantastic. I think the characters are really good. I think it's just a great romance film, and just really interesting to see what it's like for the president to have a girlfriend, basically. And I just think it's really good. I think the casting choice was really good for each and every character, and yeah, I really enjoyed The American President, which is why it's number 40 on my list. And that is it from number 31 to 40. My next part will be my final part of my top 50. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like. shows that you like the video, or you can dislike it if you didn't like the video, but let me know in the comments what you didn't like about the video, and I will try and improve on it in my next video. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Don't forget to turn the notification bell on, because I do post videos erratically. I don't have a schedule, so you can have a video up from me at any point during any day. And also comment down below anything you want to say about any of these films, or just in general. I'll get back to anyone that comments me, always. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and until next time, take care everyone. Goodbye.